5 things to know before the stock market opens. As U.S. markets gear up for the day's action, here are the top headlines investors should keep in focus. 1. U.S. stock futures mix amid Trump, Putin talks, and retail data. Futures open mixed, with Dow Jones futures up 0.6%, the S&P 500 up 0.2%, and the Nasdaq dipping slightly. Market watchers are closely tracking geopolitical developments, namely a meeting between President Trump and Russian President Putin in Alaska, alongside the release of July retail sales data, expected to show modest growth. Bitcoin continued trading above U.S. $119,000, while Treasury yields, gold, and oil futures remained mostly stable. 2. UnitedHealth soars as Berkshire Hathaway builds $1.6 billion stake. UnitedHealth Group, UNH, surged 11% in pre-market activity after Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway revealed a $1.6 billion stake in the company. Additionally, Berkshire initiated new positions in Allegion, D.R. Horton, Lamar Advertising, and Nucor, while exiting its holdings in T-Mobile US and reducing exposure to Charter Communications. 3. Applied Materials tanks on weak outlook, citing China softness. Applied Materials AMAT plunged approximately 14% after issuing weak guidance for the upcoming quarter, far below analyst estimates, particularly around demand from China. CEO Gary Dickerson cited increased macroeconomic uncertainty as a key concern. 4. Retail sales growth expected to decelerate. Markets anticipate that July saw a slower pace in retail sales, with projections estimating a 0.5% increase versus June's 0.6%. Investors are also awaiting updates on consumer sentiment via the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index, expected to show modest improvement. 5. Intel gains on report of possible U.S. government stake. Intel INTC saw a nearly 2% uptick following reports that the U.S. government may consider acquiring a stake in the chipmaker to boost domestic semiconductor production. This comes after CEO Lip-Bu Tan met with President Trump earlier in the week. Broader market context. Dow aims for a record high. Optimism is in the air as the Dow is set to open at record levels, buoyed by expectations of a September interest rate cut amid signs of labor market softness and easing inflation. UnitedHealth's jump is another catalyst lifting healthcare names, which led gains in the S&P 500 today. Geopolitical and global economic pulse. Investors continue to monitor the Trump Putin discussions in Alaska, a summit that could influence geopolitical risk sentiment and global markets. In parallel, caution surrounds slowing retail and industrial output in China, raising speculation about potential stimulus measures. Growing correction risk flagged by Goldman Sachs. New analysis from Goldman Sachs suggests that the S&P 500 now faces over a 10% chance of a drawdown within the next 3 months and up to a 20% chance over the next year, citing weak business cycle signals, a cooling job market, and high inflation expectations above 3%. Most bullish environment ever, according to BlackRock. Despite rising risks, Rick Reeder of BlackRock says markets currently sit in the most bullish investing environment he's ever seen, supported by strong earnings, abundant corporate buybacks, and $7 trillion in cash potentially ready to invest upon rate cuts. He sees long-term growth bolstered by investments in AI, space, and data technologies.